Welcome to The Uniformer. Insights into and interviews with the people and companies that drive the markets for uniforms, image apparel, public safety, and workwear.
Hello. Welcome to the Uniformer News Roundtable with Rick Levine, Leslie Watt McCardle, and Aileen Out. We do this monthly. Each of us brings two news stories. We don't tell each other what we're going to bring, and we just talk about those topics related to uniforms and image apparel and workwear and anything else that's on our minds. I'm going to let each of my fellow panelists. I'm the executive director here at the NAUMD. Leslie, who are you?
I am Leslie McCardle. I am currently a director of merchandising and development and planning at a company called Fabian Group. But I have been in the uniform industry for a long time. We're not going to say how long. But I also do write columns for the NAUMD that, just really talking about the uniform industry and different aspects of it.
Love it. Aileen?
Thank you.
So I'm Aileen Out. I am from the Netherlands. I'm the owner of the Dutch website prettybusiness.nl and the English one prettybusinessworld.com. I write about uniforms, workwear, and PPE, and I'm also having a column for the NUMD/Pulse. And I consider myself and us workwear nerds, right?
Yeah, workwear nerds. You're a workwear influencer, which I've been doing this almost 30 years, Aileen, and we've never had one. So I just find it fascinating that you're able to.
It is true.
I don't need to forget to say that I also make videos about airline uniform. And maybe that's a reason why you call me.
That's why I think of you that way. Yeah, you're always popping up on my different social channels that I bounce around on in the middle of the night, right?
So for the ones who are listening, twice a week, I make a video about, most of the time, airline uniforms and all the news and updates. Wonderful.
So, Aileen, what's the first item you have for us today?
Yeah, well, today I have a topic that's not an airline uniform topic. I had a very, very, very deep dive into the topic of camouflage prints. Yes, and sometimes I have those moments where I wanted to write an article about a topic, and then I found out it is so hard, but I keep digging deeper, and I found it was so interesting. So it started with the fact that the South African National Defence Force, the SANDF, is now saying that they're gonna give a presentation soon about the new uniform. So, and now I saw this news and I was like, okay, so what is this uniforms gonna look like? And I found out that here, let's say in America and in Europe, it's very common to share information, share a lot of news when it comes to military uniforms. We're used to that. I mean, especially in America, every dress code, uniform, every little changes, they're communicating that.
It's talked about. Yeah,
it's talking about, and you have all those websites, but also, the organization itself sends out a lot of press releases, and it's very, let's say, transparent.
Okay.
Well, I found out that in South Africa, that's not the case. So what happens is that they just say, okay, there's going to be a new uniform, and then it's silent. So I dove deeper into this topic, and I found out that for this organization, it's not a big thing, let's say, a uniform. But of course, for every uniform, there are always people who are involved and wanted to share information. So I found out that they were starting to test 4 types of camouflage prints in the last years to see what works. And here in, let's say, the West, or in America, isn't it formerly America the West?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's
what we say.
Yeah. We are all, very enthusiastic when it comes to digital camouflage prints. Yeah, we're also all saying, oh, that's good when it comes to seeing people in night vision. For example, it's better with the environment. But I found out that is different in South Africa because they tested multiple types. And although there's not an official statement, I found out that they choose one pattern that's, let's say, an analog pattern.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I found that out. And it's not a big thing there, the print, although it's a big thing here. And that is because one of the biggest things there is that the costs are so high that is the biggest problem there. And to compare them with America, for example, when you need to give a new uniform to a soldier, in USA, it was in 2021, it was between $1,600 and $2,400 for one uniform set.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but if they wanted to give a new uniform in South Africa, I just translate, the valuta, almost 5,300 euros, 3,500 euros, sorry. I'll say it again, that in the Netherlands, it's you turn around the numbers. So it's almost, let's say, almost double the amount of money. And that is because you're Googling it, I see, or not?
Well, so what I'm Googling is that according to Defense website, there's about 75,000 active duty personnel in South Africa, right? So we have 1.5 million. So to compare the
That was what I wanted to
costs.
say. That was what I wanted to say.
Okay, well, you're talking
Wow.
about time.
Content. What are you doing?
Googled it.
Yeah, so what I found out, you have 1.4 million soldiers,
Yep.
yes, and they have 55,000 soldiers. That's
Okay.
what I found out.
All right.
And that's also one of the reasons, of course, why it's more expensive, but also one of the reasons why they are probably not choosing a digital design is because in South Africa, the companies who are making those uniforms are not that experienced as here in the West.
That's entirely possible. Yeah. I wonder if also, I mean, for instance, one of the members of the NAUMD is Logistic Unicorp. They have headquarters in Australia, and they are very active in North America via their Canadian operations. And they outfit many militaries outside of Canada. And, so there's companies like that, though, that often get these smaller countries. They'll get contracts with these smaller countries to help out. Is the pattern green or tan?
It's a combination, but
Interesting.
First they had this pattern that was called Soldier 2000. That was an analog pattern.
Yeah.
And the new pattern looks kind of the same, but I found out that one of the designers said that they first started that they wanted to have a more digital print.
Yeah.
But it looks like they just, it's so interesting because you see pictures online from people who have just, let's say, the first models to try out.
Yeah.
But it's not officially yet.
Yeah.
So
I find it interesting. I mean, when I was growing up, here in North America, and Leslie will, probably say similar, everything was green. It was all based on.
Absolutely, it was green.
We were fighting in countries. It's like, where's the theater? Where's the war happening? So we were all green because we were fighting in Vietnam, and we were fighting in Korea, and we were, of course, World War II in Europe, and we're fighting in places where we need to blend into forests and grass, right? And then suddenly we're, most of our fighting is happening in desert areas, and now it just seems like everything's tan. And I am not an expert on defense and military uniforms at all, but that was, why I was asking which color it is where does South Africa, well, domestically, if they're defending themselves, of course, it's going to be green, right? They aren't.
It's a combination of different colors, tan and green, but there are multiple green, different kind of green in the uniform. But it's also interesting what you said, because I know in the Netherlands, they made also digital print, but they have it in 5 different color combinations. As you said, green, tan, but also for snow areas and for at sea, so a lot of blue. So yeah, it is really interesting. I also found out that one of the reasons that we like to have digital prints is because they really fit the environment, let's say in cities, better. But when you're working as a soldier in South Africa, the environment is different and is not so, it didn't change as much as in, let's say, cities in Europe or America. So
Very
that is
interesting.
also
Yeah.
one of the reasons. And I also found out that there was a study that proves that digital prints are not always better than the, let's say, old school woodland, because you Americans invented woodland that is so popular over the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was just a deep dive where I was putting way much hours, too much hours in this topic, but I found it so interesting.
You're also bringing back a memory for me. I had on the podcast, this was just a one-on-one interview podcast. I had a technical designer from Pincroft, which is a division or sister operation to Carrington Textiles. And they, I was asking like what they're working on and, you know, some of the more interesting things. And she said they were asked to design camouflage that it is not detectable by a drone. And I said, so that's different than being tan or green. That's a whole different technology of, well, how can we make it invisible to a drone? And I said, so basically you're being asked to make an invisibility cloak. Like,
Yes.
But
That's
when was
exactly
this?
it.
This was 2 years, probably 2-3 years ago, Aileen. Yeah.
Because I know in Ukraine now they're busy with that.
Yeah.
Because so many drones, they say we really need to change the whole uniform and the colors and prints and everything.
It's the future of war. I mean, if we're going to keep fighting wars, the same way that our work environments and our home environments are going to be greatly altered by robots, right? So is, you know, so is the way we fight each other.
Like, no.
The robot revolution. No, thank you.
No, not up for it. Okay, well, you know me, I'm the aggressively optimistic.
I know, you're the one that's for it.
And I believe robots will help us. I mean, manufacturing, like, you know, just look at
you're right.
Manufacturing.
I just don't want a bad one.
It doesn't always have to be the robot that's on like wheels or has legs and is walking around, but yeah, it's still a robot.
Well, for the people who are listening, I recently wrote a column about robots in China that work as a police officer, and as far as I could see, they did a pretty good job. It was very interesting.
I almost was going to pick that for my topic today, but I have two other ones. Well, that was very interesting, Aileen. Thank you for diving into camo.
You're welcome.
Leslie, what do you got?
Sure. So I picked it from the Pulse because I really feel that's such an awesome resource. The NAUMD does such a great job gathering it. So I believe the author was Michelle Travis from LinkedIn, but I don't know, Rick, if you put this in. It was on the that if you have women in executive roles and or on the board, your corporation, right? So your corporation will have less safety, high level type of safety accidents. I mean, it was proven, I'm going to go at the article here, that the research said based on about a little under 1,200 traded U.S. companies, over 19 years, they found that if the company had at least 2 women on the executive branch, the executive branch, I don't mean the government, I meant the executives, and or the on the board of directors, the companies were at about 14% less likely to have a workplace violation. I just love, women, we rule.
Well, there was one. Oh, sorry.
No, go right ahead. You're a woman. You can speak.
Women rule.
Yeah. The men just don't see it yet, but we are.
Yes, I know.
But I'm sorry, continue.
No, that's fine. I just found it fascinating. Go ahead.
So so actually Michelle Travis is the author that, as it says, a professor, and that article is from Forbes. So really all we did was link to a Forbes.com article. in the Pulse each week. Sometimes we have original content like Leslie, Rick, and Aileen write. Sometimes we have original content from companies, member companies. And then sometimes we just, and this is Jackie Rosselli, she's been the editor of the Pulse for forever.
That's a great job. Great job.
She will then find material out in the wild, and we will say, hey, this is interesting. We should all take a look at this. And so that's an example of one that's out at Forbes. But anyway, Aileen, what do you think about what this topic?
Yes.
I saw this article, and yeah, it was interesting, yes, but there's one big thing that was a missing point. That is one of the biggest issues we're talking about also here, is that the fact that the female fit when it comes to workwear and PPE also plays a big role when it comes to safety at work. So I think that when there are women on top of a company or having high positions, I think they are more aware of the fact that individuals need to have you see it? Oh no.
What?
My dog was just doing crazy.
Oh.
Here.
No, I didn't even see. I'm so paying attention to you.
He's now behind my roses here at my desk.
Oh.
But what I think is that if there is a woman in a high position, she is aware of the fact that unisex is not beneficial for women. So I think that they tend to have more, let's say, think about these kinds of topics. And when someone complains about their PPE and workwear, I think
they listen, maybe. Yeah.
But they, of course, I don't think they dived deeper into that. But I think it's interesting that this was more an article for, let's say, a social point of view. Also, that they are aware of the social
compliance and things like that, because it's being a responsible corporation. Social compliance is global. You know, you extend it to the factories and suppliers you work with and everything. I just loved
the whole idea of the matriarch.
Yeah.
That women are very much like, we wanted to work together. We wanted to together make things better. So I think this proves it. Yeah. And I've also heard a while ago that companies with women on higher positions earn more money, way more money, and not going so much in bankruptcy and that kind of things. So, but that was a study from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I just loved it. And it was refreshing to see that there's actual factual studies that can prove the benefits of
what we all
just having a diverse workplace. Really is what I took away from it too, because it's all about diversity and stuff. And women are part of that diversity, and not man bashing at all, because that's not what it is. It's everyone working together. I think it strikes the balance.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Rick, do you have anything to add from your point of view?
No, I just, I apologize for being a man. That's
okay.
No, I just said you're important.
I understand.
Part of
it must be very hard for you.
It's so hard to hear this news. Yes, it's so hard.
Especially as a white male, with a reference man body type in America.
Oh, whoa.
Must be very hard.
Okay, well, so on that note, the first one I've got for us today actually just came out February 2nd. So we're recording this on February 4th, and we'll release it next week. But it's something that just came out 2 days ago in the Wall Street Journal. So I'm taking a business angle for us today, just because I found it amazing that the Wall Street Journal was talking about this. And they said, safety toes and work pants, clothing for trades is having a moment. One of the fastest growing brands in apparel and footwear isn't a fast fashion or athleisure wear. It's a company making safety compliant work boots and water resistant cargo pants. Brunt Workwear, BRUNT, they are not NAUMD members, but I'm aware of them, sells footwear and clothes to tradespeople such as mechanics, builders, electricians. It tinkers with toe boxes. It sponsors ranchers for bull riding events and uses fabric that's flexible and to accommodate preferences of a more, functional fits. So get this. This is what also why I felt it was newsworthy was the privately held company, which launched in 2020. So
I know it's new. I think
5
it's in
years ago.
Massachusetts, right?
5 years ago is now ringing up 300 million plus in yearly sales.
It grew that quick.
It grew that quick. So I felt like that's like to our industry, that's amazing news.
Huge.
That you can grow that quick. Now, some uniform and workwear companies would say, oh, well, but all they're doing is taking that money from some other workwear company because those people might have bought Carhartt.
They're bringing innovation.
But, but that's, they're also growing. They're likely growing.
They're doing something good.
They're doing something good. They're outfitting more than 30 million tradespeople in the U.S. is their estimate that they gave to Wall Street Journal. I'm not sure how.
But when you're talking about numbers, is this more than, let's say, Carhartt? Or
No.
No, Carhartt's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carhartt
that's impressive.
It's in terms of growth.
Oh, growth? Yeah, I don't know enough to say that, if you grow from 0 to 300 million in 5 years, is that percentage-wise faster than something like Carhartt is growing? I have no idea, Aileen. That's a good point, is that are all workwear companies, just swimming in sales? I don't know, but.
Well, I think a big part of this is also the fact that for years now, it's a big trend, workwear. You see it everywhere. It's not only functional just for work.
So that's an interesting point. And we do have Carhartt somewhat to thank for that people will wear, like we'll buy a Carhartt jacket, even if you work at behind a computer all day. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the same a little bit for VF Dickies. Well, the former VF Dickies, but,
that's true. Dickies was doing it even before Carhartt, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that also plays a big role. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. That's a great. I'm going to look into them.
I was just startled how fast it would be. I mean, maybe we could cover it in the Pulse, but we can't. It can't link to the Wall Street Journal. But I'll say on this podcast, if anyone wants, if you don't have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, you want me to just send you some of the text from the article, just email me.
That's cool.
You cannot because there's a paywall. You mean?
Yes, you have to be a subscriber to read the Wall Street Journal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's interesting.
All right.
I like it.
Well, back to you, Aileen. What else?
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah.
I mean, unless you guys have more to talk about that, it's more just a.
No, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's just good news that hey, we can experience like phenomenal growth in our industry. It's not like we are static, right?
Well, absolutely. I never doubt about that, to be honest. It's such a huge business and there's so many potential. And every day I'm reading news and every time companies are buying other companies and doing stuff. So I never was in thinking that it was a bad industry or something to make money. So no. Well, talking about clothes, I dived this month deeper into the dress code of the car salesman.
Oh,
interesting.
Yes, that was interesting because there was a study done by what people want to see when they're buying a car, what the car salesman is wearing, what the preferences are. So they found out that 46% of people like to see a more formal look. That doesn't mean completely in a suit. But when there is a more expensive car involved, 55% wanted a more formal look. But what is, in my opinion, the most interesting part about this research is that for people who are older than 56 years and older, they would like to see a car salesman. It was in this case only men with a tie and a shirt. When it was between 36 and 45 years old, they wanted to see a polo.
I was just gonna say a polo.
Yeah. But now the interesting part, people from, let's say, around 25 and older, so I think 25 and 36, between that gap, would like to see a car salesman in a suit.
No way.
I love it.
Oh my God, Leslie, you have to tell everyone at Fabian about this.
Write this down.
Yeah, and this also, I also found in other research, and this was done a couple of years before this research, and they found that the best color when it comes to suits for a car salesman is obviously blue. 90% of people would go to a car salesman if they were wearing a blue suit. So I found this was very interesting. And I also am reading more and more articles from different media that's saying that young people are more, interested in uniform and corporate wear than we really think.
Yeah.
Because especially the people now who are starting their career, a lot of people started a career during the pandemic. So they started a career digital. And I also wrote, I saw stories about people who started their career, and digital, and just sending pictures to their parents like, okay, I want to wear this. Is this okay? Because they weren't in an environment where they can learn what the dress code was. So what I saw is that the young people think, okay, if I just wear this is good at work. So this is my uniform, So they have those strict rules for themselves to be sure that they are good for the environment. I think that was interesting.
That is super. I loved that. That kind of took me a little bit by surprise, but maybe not a little bit, because I'm thinking of both my sons, and they do love suits, oddly enough.
How old are
Well,
they?
it's probably the profession. My children are older. My oldest is 27 and my youngest is 22. So, but I think it's that what they're going into as an industry too, to work. So,
and what kind of work do they do that they wear?
My oldest is actually an attorney, an associate attorney. So obviously that screams, hey, I need to wear a suit. And my youngest is going into pharmaceutical, which isn't really suit driven per se, unless you get into certain things. I know, right? People are like, what? They didn't go into uniform.
Neither did my kids.
I know. But I guess I'm seeing that too, but it could be more profession driven too.
Well, it's very interesting because on the other side, you have those, they call it Gen Z, this group what we're talking about.
That's my,
Yeah, that's those people also tend to just have more, let's say, thoughts in their head about, okay, I can wear shorts, I can wear flip-flops, It's the more I'm reading about this, the more I'm seeing that there are really two groups within this generation.
There are
going to more formal, more uniform kind of, clothes, and the other is like, okay, I can wear whatever I want. It doesn't matter, office siren. I don't know if you heard about that trend.
No, what's that?
Office siren was also a dress code within the Gen Z community that was, let's say, more feminine, sexy touch kind of thing.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, this is a style. And there were young ladies presenting that on TikTok, like, okay, I can wear this at work. And I worked, and there were all comments like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
That would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was also a trend. So yeah, it's interesting. They're really divided.
I think,
That's very interesting. Have you written this one up yet, or no?
Do you want me to write?
Oh yeah, that's a great topic for
the car salesman or the generation, or
well, it all feeds together.
It does feed together, because they just threw me.
I would tell the story the same way you told us. I would start with the car salesman,
okay, it's a big,
model, because we all understand that, right?
Yes.
I mean, I started thinking as you were talking about it also of, well, does this apply to, like any quote unquote bigger purchase or consumer relationship? Like, what do you want your real estate agent to wear? Right.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, if you're making a big purchase, you want comfort, and appearance drive some of your confidence in someone.
Like a lot of them don't have any dress formal rules, but then there's one, what is it, like Century 21 here in the US, something like that. They have these like distinctive jackets. They all wear same color, logoed, right? It's like
kind of like yellowy, aren't like that color?
Yeah, they're a little yellowy goldish.
Yeah.
So I wonder what studies
Well,
do.
I know a couple of years ago on my own website, I wrote about an article about that a German bank who did this with their customers. They just really asked them in a survey, what do you want our people to wear? So that was also, in my opinion, very interesting. And that was more casual than at that time. It was a little bit more new. Now you see everywhere sneakers, but they gave sneakers to their own people, custom made.
Wow.
I think Adidas or something, but I will write it down.
That is interesting. Yeah. I mean,
So
Chase Bank, Global has won our NAUMD awards a few
Yeah,
times.
they do a nice job.
Huntington Bank has been submitted a few times. They have nice uniforms. So banking
They
is
do
also
look nice.
pretty interesting, but it isn't the suits anymore that, is winning awards. It's cardigan sweaters and and button-down shirts, logoed
Which is
button.
a form of a suit when you, I don't know, that's me.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I suppose the lines are similar to a suit. Yeah.
Absolutely. It gives you that feeling or,
Yeah, good point.
I think
it's making a comeback.
Will always be, a lot of people say, oh, we're more casual, but these things will never disappear. Never.
I think it's switching a little bit. I don't know. Like, I think, it's everything goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So.
Very interesting that young people are more interested. I know that is true with my son, who's also, in the end of his 20s, is much more interested in nicer clothing than
nice. Yes, that's. I think
not.
it.
All right, Leslie, what do you got?
Okay, so Aileen, I picked your article because I really liked it. I know. It's on making medical gloves from food waste.
Yeah. To be honest, I really like the topic myself.
I'll tell you. So I know you have way more knowledge of this than I did. But what I loved about it, there were a couple of things that I just want to point out. Obviously, this isn't heavy duty medical like for surgeons, and I understood that, you know what I mean, going in. But I also loved the part about, and you can probably explain it more, is the company in Italy, Orange Fiber, just things like that you don't think of, that they take the citrus peels because it is the heaviest part of the fruit. Like, so you have all this raw material that you can create something with. That, I mean, when you look outside and everybody's like, recycle, do this, there is so much more that we don't even realize that can be done. So that just fascinates me. And the fact that your article even said that they've created this using a percentage of food waste, if I understood correctly. So maybe you can better explain it, but it just makes you feel good about the future that we have people thinking of these things, because waste is so important that we need to clean it up. So,
well, one of the positive things, of course, is that it's also always available. So it won't be a big company. There won't be a problem like with resources.
Yeah, you don't have to grow it. Well, you do.
No,
well,
and that is what
I'm thinking.
They thought about fibers that they
so
said,
interesting.
There are so many, in this whole area in Italy, they're growing so many of these fruits. So for them, it's just the local thing.
I loved it. And it's just something that I'm going to pay, obviously look more into. It's just interesting. And did this company, do they have these gloves like done and can they sell them?
No.
Not yet.
I think I also said that in the article that it is not finished yet.
Okay,
but
sorry.
They are working on it, and they really have the feeling that this will be the end result, that this will work out. But they are not 100% sure, and you really need to say, to be clear, it's not that they can replace all the medical gloves.
No, they of course not.
Yes. So, because if you're a surgeon, there some type of, I don't know the English word, but it must be 100% clean.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
But what was the word for that?
maybe like hygiene, disinfectant. I don't know.
Disinfectant, yeah, I think that was it, yeah. So, but yeah, for a lot of things you can use those things, and one of the biggest pluses are also that you can just, with all those food stuff, you can just use your own,
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking medical. I'm even thinking people in cafeterias, people that handle food. That could be
There
a
are
market
so
for
many
them.
professions where people wear gloves. I mean,
Yeah.
That don't have to be highly it should,
Yeah.
because that's why you're wearing them. But I guess, I don't know. I just felt it opened up, doors to just look at things differently.
Yeah. I
we're
mean,
all
food service
about
is a
all
great
the
example. Yeah.
Yeah. My gloves made of food. I mean, I don't know if it's to that extent.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
so
really,
I
that is
picked
really
you from one of my articles.
Thank you. That's a big
You're welcome.
compliment. Well, that was the same article they asked me for the podcast. So yeah, I think.
That's right.
So I tell you, get some traction. Me and the podcast liked it.
So we were talking about that off camera. What you're going to be a guest on a future podcast with Hunter Professional Apparel, I think is their full name, out of Ireland. And they do a very interesting podcast where they talk about workwear of all kinds. And so Aileen mentioned to us that she's going to be a guest on that. That's awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah. Well, we still need to schedule it. So I don't know when it's going to be online, but we'll see.
Excellent. So the last one I had for us, which I don't know I always like to see how our different stories interconnect. Like where do they?
Sometimes
overlap?
they really connect.
Yeah, but I don't know if this does. You'll have to tell me. But there's this thing I was thinking about. I'm going to call it the quiet rise of uniform adjacent products in workwear lines, right? So over time, we're noticing, that these workwear companies, some of their fastest growing products aren't even traditional uniform core items. So it's like backpacks, fleece items, the soft shells of things, hats, accessories. So it's like they're pieces that live between, and this kind of relates to what we were talking about earlier. They live somewhere between a uniform and a lifestyle, article of clothing, right? Kind of that whole Dickies, Carhartt discussion we were having. They show up in lookbooks. They're showing up in social feeds.
It's a big part.
And then in Leslie can let us know about this in uniform programs themselves. Like, of course, if there's an airline, they're going to want to offer luggage, right? But that's not necessarily what we're talking about. There's going to be all kinds of other accessories, right, Aileen? They might be offering uniform employees that are not, airline employees that are not strict uniform items. So, it raises questions from a merchandising standpoint. It raises questions from a marketing standpoint, which Aileen thinks a lot about. It's kind of interesting the way, you look at companies like Port West and, like their catalog is literally,
it is huge.
They have like thousands of products. And I'm not talking about sizes. I'm not talking about SKUs, right? I'm saying just their styles and their different products. It's just become this enormous stretch of range of product type. I don't know.
You're influencing me now. I want this catalog.
Port West. Oh, it's massive.
Yeah, Port West. You're saying.
Well, they're global, so that makes sense. Yeah.
You don't want the physical one. It's like getting an old U.S. major city phone book. It's like.
Wow. Oh, the old city phone books. We have that in the Netherlands too. Yeah, I know. That's very. Yeah. A couple of years ago, a lot of workwear companies were sending me the catalogs, but I said at the end, no, I check it online. It's too much waste paper. But I can imagine how thick they are.
Is this just money? Is this branding?
I think it's branding too.
Okay.
Think of it. It's just a different way to brand your company as well. So like even like the scarf I have on now, like there are different programs that will do that. They'll put the little logo on it and have it be part of their workers' uniform. Bags, when they have it, they'll have the logo. I think it's both, right? Because like you want your employees to be comfortable in what they are, or you want them cold or warm or hot, like you want them to be comfortable. And some of those added items help that. Like, you know, with the bag, you put your whatever it is that you need to do your job, stuff like that. We are seeing more of that. I mean, like we said, headwear, that is huge. And it's also added branding. They can throw their logo right on it.
And it's a big part of fashion now. Just what I said before. I mean, Carhartt, you know, when they can do it, why not we? That's with what they're thinking, you know. And if you have good quality, why not? And if people compare it, if people think, oh, this is the style I like, yeah, why not? So like I think
socks too.
But at the end, it's always money, of course. But I mean, yeah, I think marketing is also a big, the whole industry now is asking for it. You know, everyone wants to wear workwear related things. It's a trend, it's a style, it's almost a lifestyle. So
workwear gear.
And I suppose from the business hat seat, it's that we're making it pretty easy for each other as companies to say, hey, do you want to take our product, put your logo on it, and just put it out there in your catalogs as a thing.
Part of it.
There was an astounding piece of news that came out last week also about that Costco got the rights from Nike to make a Nike shoe that is the Costco house brand Kirkland.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It's huge. And they said they are literally selling more of that than Nike sells all year long. Like many billions of dollars of these Kirkland shoes. And you can see on them the Nike swipe, right? This is clearly a co-branded, you know, thing, but it's
co-branding's, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't say Nike on it. It says,
but the swoosh is Nike.
Yeah, the swoosh is recognizable, but it's a Kirkland brand. It's not cheap. It's $115 sneaker. It's not like they're, you know, Costco, you know, $32 shoes, or, you know, it's not like that's how they're pitching it. They're pitching it that here's some quality shoes you can get at Costco.
But the price is also a point of marketing.
Yes. Well, in the 115, maybe, Aileen, is less than the Nike costs, you know, if you went out there. But what's my point? My point is that that companies maybe are just making it easier for each other, right? So if a Fabian, you know, wanted a Nike, well, actually, some of our wholesalers, like a Sanmar, which is a distributor of lots of blank products for the uniform industry, you know, you can buy Nike products, and
but it would be someplace different.
Yeah, and they're Nike products, but the obligation is if you buy it through Sanmar, you have to decorate it.
Absolutely.
You can't buy it through Sanmar and sell it in your local sportswear store, right? You have to actually put another logo on it in order to sell it, which is
that's part of the agreement. Absolutely, if you're going to purchase it.
Yeah. Interesting. So NAUMD 2026 convention is in May 3 to 5. It's in Boston. We're coming up Leslie's way.
Woo-hoo! Yes, we are. And then all of you people will have accents. I will not.
Oh. We already have just over 70 companies registered to exhibit. People are registering to attend. We have about 17 different speakers. Some of them are panelists, but I've listed all of them as we've got lots of speakers. You know, the convention is half conference, half trade show. So I encourage, you know, everyone who wants to learn to come. I encourage everyone that wants to, you know, fortify their supply chain to come and meet with factories and mills and brands and accessory companies, headwear companies that we were talking about. There's all kinds of companies that are going to be there, including Fabian Couture, where Leslie works. Anybody have any last thoughts?
In the Netherlands, we also got an event.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you
But
have?
it's not
Yes.
that big. I think it was in 1 month now. So we have since a couple of years Workwear Expo, and now they also have an international website.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, they call it Workwear Expo, and it's in the middle of the Netherlands, so it's the most easiest place, exactly in the middle.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I know the one who organizes this, and he first had a software company. It's very funny, with a lot of workwear companies who were involved, and he made the software for them. And now he's busy with this Workwear Expos. Yeah, it's very interesting. So
wonderful.
I'm going though to
Yeah,
course.
great. Let us know how that
For this
goes.
small
what you learned
country.
there. All right, naumd.com/news. If you want to read any articles by the three of us that we've discussed, you can find them there, and links to other articles from other places like Forbes that we've discussed.
Yes.
Leslie, Aileen, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.